Curtis Caseman is excused. John Reese.
Here.
Ian Dunn.
Here.
Wes Tripp.
Here.
Rob Allen.
Here.
I do believe we have a quorum here today. Welcome to the June 2022 meeting of the Raleigh Historic Development Commission's Certificate of Appropriateness Committee. My name is Wes Tripp. I'll do note for the member of the public here today. When you do come up, please do sign the attendance roster. The agenda and staff reports are available as well for pickup if you would like to review those. And a handout on today's meeting procedure is available as well. At this time, we'll move on to introductions. This, again, is the Certificate of Appropriateness Committee of the Raleigh Historic Development Commission. It consists of, it's a city council appointed body and consists of residents of historic districts, architects, intern architects, architectural consultants and contractors, attorneys and historians, urban planners, and historic preservationists. And we're going to go down the line just for the members of the commission can introduce themselves. We'll start with Rob.
I'm Rob Allen. I am a project manager at a local architectural firm. I'm also a Raleigh native.
My name is John Reese. I am a registered architect in the state of North Carolina and a resident of the Glenwood, Brooklyn neighborhood.
Again, my name is Wes Tripp. I'm an attorney here in Raleigh.
My name is Ian Dunn. I'm a Raleigh historian, and I work at the State Archives.
And we are also joined by our attorney for the board. I'll have him introduce himself.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm Francis Raspberry. I'm an attorney in a local, in a Raleigh law firm, and I'm legal counsel to the Certificate of Appropriateness Committee.
And we're also joined by city staff, and I'll have them introduce themselves.
Good evening. My name is Erin Morton. I'm a preservation planner with the city of Raleigh. I've been working here with the city for just over 2 years and have a master's degree in historic preservation.
I am Colette Canane. I am also a preservation planner. I've been with the city for a little over 4 years, and I also have a master's degree in historic preservation.
Do you want to? Okay. All right. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to waive reading of the minutes.
Second.
Any corrections or additions to the minutes? And is there a second on the motion?
Here.
Question before the committee is the adoption or a motion to waive the reading of the minutes. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Note that it's unanimous. Next, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Any corrections or additions to note?
No.
Hearing none, the question before the commission is a motion to adopt the minutes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It's unanimous approval. Next, I'll entertain a motion to approve the final agenda for today's meeting.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion or debate on the agenda? Hearing
I guess
none-
I will note before you approve, just 2 of the applications were deferred. What were they? One was case 0064 for 3.
So we have 0039 1011 Oberlin Road, as well as COA 0064 2022 for 319 East Jones Street.
Oh, I didn't know that one got deferred too. So we only have one case.
That's correct.
Oh. We're going to call that in.
Any further comment on the agenda? Hearing none, the question before the committee is a motion to approve the final agenda with the noted removal of the 2 applications.
So moved.
I believe we already had a motion.
We did?
Yeah.
Okay.
So hearing no further discussion, the question is the motion to approve the final agenda. Anyone, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Unanimous approval. Staff will next address the minor work applications that were processed in the past month.
Yes, we had 6 minor work approvals this month.
All right, thank you. We are now ready to hear the applications before the committee. Prior to the meeting, notice had been sent to property owners within 100 feet of the properties in question. Legal ad was placed and signage was posted at the site. Commission members received a copy of each application, staff reports, and were to have visited each property. Staff reports were made publicly available with the agenda. North Carolina law provides that major work applications must be approved in an evidentiary hearing and that persons have an opportunity to address an application if they desire. We're now ready to conduct the evidentiary hearing phase of the meeting. Evidentiary hearings are conducted in a quasi-judicial format. During the hearing, we receive evidence to determine that proposed changes are not incongruous with the special character of the district or the historic property. We review this evidence against guidelines referenced in the city ordinance before issuing a certificate. Each application is heard in the same way as listed in the meeting procedure handout. The quasi-judicial format of the hearing requires that we be impartial. The written staff reports are evidence, presented just as any other evidence, and were made available to us, the applicants, and the public at the same time. If any members of the committee have reason to discuss the specific details of an application before today, we will ask to be excused from hearing that application. There is no time limit on testimony, but repetition is discouraged. Because of the quasi-judicial format of our hearings, that is, the commission hears evidence and then judges whether the change is not incongruous, we are required by North Carolina law to affirm or swear persons that speak before the commission and offer evidence. Speakers will be affirmed at the beginning of each case. Although oath affirmation forms have been signed previously, all speakers will be sworn or affirmed at the beginning of each case. Staff will now be sworn or affirmed for all the cases on the agenda. Colette and Aaron, will you be presenting on the staff reports?
It's just me tonight.
All right. Aaron, do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give on the matters of today's agenda is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right. The one and only case on the agenda is it the East Lane property? COA 0057 2022 501 East Lane Street. Does any member of the committee have an interest in this matter or otherwise feel that they cannot be impartial or fair in the hearing of this case? All right, at this time, I'll have the applicant come forward.
Good evening.
Mr. Zach, if you would step over to the microphone.
You can,
You
go
can
ahead and
sign
sign
in.
that.
We are in no rush tonight.
You have our full undivided attention.
Yeah, that kind of scared me.
Mr. Zach, could you please state your name and address for the record?
Kevin Zach, 501 East Lane Street, Raleigh.
And Mr. Zach, do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And you are the property owner, Mr. Zach?
I am.
All right. At this time, staff will make a presentation summarizing their report.
All right. This is case COA 0057 2022 for 501 East Lane Street in the Oakwood Historic District. The request is to construct a 6-foot fence and construct a 42-inch fence with a sliding gate. And you can see on the image here that this is a corner property. This is a current image of 501 East Lane Street as viewed from East Lane Street. It's a new construction project. I believe you may have seen an application for this site or perhaps its neighbor within the last year for a similar fence. And we're just going to move around the side of the property. And you can see the side yard, and this is the driveway area where that sliding gate is proposed. And greater view at the side/rear lot line. Staff concerns is just providing clarity around the two gate designs, including whether it will be single or double gates at the proposed 12-foot opening, specifics regarding the sliding gate hardware specifications and general visibility of that hardware. And then there's a pedestrian gate without a width defined or hardware specifications yet. And then I believe the fence is proposed to be painted to match the foundation, but we don't have a clear photo showing the color of the foundation to be matched. And that's all.
All right, Mr. Zach, now is your opportunity to present evidence or statements that you have in support of your application.
Thank you for the opportunity to chat with you all. The proposed fence is in very similar build to our neighbors and is simply to provide privacy to our family and for some privacy for property, although at the 42-inch level, obviously that is less. There are many fences across Oakwood, as we have noticed, that have similar designs. The one that is unique that I could not also find would be that sliding fence across the driveway. It will be a single sliding gate. It will not be a dual. It'll slide, as you're looking at this picture, it would slide left to right because of the grade is much less and easy. And the hardware and everything is in process. I apologize for not having that ready for tonight. But it will be in alignment with other fence hardware that you see at multiple fence, a black hardware. For the pedestrian fence, it was incorrectly left off. It'll be 11 feet from the sidewalk fence. It'll be 48 inches, 4 feet wide, and have similar hardware to the sliding gate as well as other fences that are in the Oakwood property. And as far as the color of the foundation, there were multiple pictures provided that showed the color of that foundation. In fact, in this picture, that fence that you see on the other side of the 6-foot privacy fence between myself and 505 East Lane, that is the color of the foundation, and that will be the color of the fence.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Zach. Is there anyone here who wishes to speak in support of the application? Is there anyone here who wishes to speak in opposition to the application? Is there anyone present with any questions or who wishes to make a comment regarding the application? All right. Now will be an opportunity for the commissioners to ask you any questions about the application.
Sir.
Mr. Zach, is this 12-foot gate automated or is it manual?
It will be manual.
How does it work?
Well, that's what's in final design, but the Sierra Structures, who will be doing the work for me, there'll be a metal bracing, if you will, that will have rollers that the fence will be supported on the inside of the fence. If you're looking at the picture, the fence that is to the right will have on the inside will have the metal structure, if you will, and the rollers that would support it as it rolls out. Rolls in, and then as it locks, there'll be a locking mechanism to support it once it gets in place as it slides all the way to the left.
Okay. Is there any picture of what, I saw the pictures in the packet here about what the design of the fence, the actual image of the fence might look like.
Right.
But I'm confused as to what, they had several pictures in here, so I'm not sure what fence design we're looking at. I'm looking at, that's the 42-inch design?
Yes.
And then this is the,
That's the hardware.
That's-
That's the
that's-
proposed
that's the
pedestrian
proposed hardware.
Representation of the hardware.
and then
correct.
this is for the 6-foot section?
Yes, it'll be exactly as the fence that is on 505 Lane that you see in this picture on the other side of the car.
Okay.
John, what I believe we don't have is an elevation of the sliding gate.
Yeah, right.
And so
True.
we sort of need to imagine that. But if what I'm hearing is correct, that hardware is mounted on the interior yard
side, yes.
facing
You will
side.
not see the supporting structure and the rollers, if you will. You will
Understood.
see a locking mechanism similar to other fences.
Okay.
Is
When
this
it's-
sorry,
I'm sorry.
is this a bespoke thing or is it you buying it? Are you having it made?
It will be made, yes.
Okay.
So-
Sorry.
Yeah,
Are
go
there-
ahead. You go ahead.
Is there a wheel on the leading edge of the gate, or is it just supported from the other end?
My understanding, and I haven't seen it final, my understanding there will be some sort of wheel supporting the front edge of the gate as it rolls back and forth across the ground.
So when it's closed, it's not in line with the fence line, it is set back behind
It'll
the
be
fence
set
line.
back. It'll be butted up against that fence line, so it'll be, let's call it, an inch or two offset. Correct.
Okay. That's all I have.
Ian, do you have any questions for the applicant? John? Rob?
Nope.
Okay. All right, any questions for staff?
I do, just one. Do staff need to be sworn in to? Okay. So just understanding from the staff report, is this type of operation setting a precedent? I feel like it was mentioned that there's no known similar sliding gate, if I'm not mistaken.
That is true. We're not aware of another type of sliding gate with this proposed hardware. There's just a general question as well in terms of what the hardware would be, since it's not provided in the packet. I think from a staff perspective, we don't review the function
Yeah.
of things. Windows can be fixed. We don't review that particular aspect, but since it is a 42-inch fence at the sidewalk with at least 65% opacity, we had questions about what that hardware would really look like from the street.
Sure. I see.
Because it will be partially visible, but is it congruous with the design guidelines? We just haven't seen this type of request yet.
So
a
it's
committee
not
question.
necessarily the fact that it slides, it's the
Right.
fact that the hardware that makes it slide would be visible.
Potentially, and that's up to you. It's just that we haven't seen it before, so it's an evaluation that needs to be made in terms of, typical fencing and gate hardware that is typical in the district. This is just, we don't have an example to point to for this.
No other questions for me.
Any other questions? Mr. Zach, do you have any final comments you'd like to make on the application?
I do not.
Okay. Hearing no further questions, no comments from Mr. Zach, I'll close the evidentiary hearing. And now we will move on to discussion among the committee members of the application with respect to its congruity in light of our development standards.
As I read and understand the guidelines that are in question here, I think the purview of us doesn't really go into how it operates. Just goes into what it looks like when it's closed and what the hardware is before it closes. I'm disappointed we don't have a better understanding of the hardware. That's the only thing that bothers me a little bit. But other than that, I don't know how this is incongruous when it's from a visual standpoint, based on what we have done before and what the existing context is. Do y'all have any other concerns about, I'm asking you guys here what you think about the hardware, missing hardware issue.
And hardware can be approved by staff later,
Okay, yeah, why can't it? Is that doable?
Or a condition of the.
Yeah, a condition that
You
we
could
put into it.
certainly factor in what the hardware needs to be into the condition, and we can take care of
Okay,
that.
Good, okay. That satisfies my concern.
Rob, any comments that you have?
Nope.
Ian? No. Well, at this time, I could entertain a motion. I know we've discussed some issues about the hardware.
I'll make that move. I propose, or I move that based on the evidence in this hearing, the presentation from the applicant, and the report from staff, that we approve this application with the following suggested conditions. That number one, that any new post holes be dug manually and tree roots larger than 1-inch caliber that are encountered while digging shall receive a clean final cut using tools designed for the purpose, such as loppers. Number two, that the proposed 42-inch fence design match exactly the image provided to demonstrate the opacity of the fence design rather than the similar fencing image submitted to show the proposed gate hardware. Number three, that the following materials and specifications be submitted to and approved by staff prior to issuance of the blue placard. A scaled elevation drawing of the 12-foot sliding gate design, including sliding components and relationship to adjacent fencing sections. B, pedestrian and sliding gate hardware manufacturer specifications, including product size, finish, and attachment locations. And four, that the following materials and specifications be submitted to and approved by staff prior to installation or construction. A photo of the main house foundation, finished color to be matched.
John has moved for approval of the application. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the motion?
No.
All right, the motion's been made by John and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? That is unanimous. Mr. Zach, thank you for coming, presenting your application. The application has been approved, subject to the conditions as set out in the motion. You're welcome to stay, but you we don't have much more business left to handle here. The final vote of approval will be made official at next month's meeting when we approve the minutes from this meeting. And then official notification will be sent to you after that meeting next month.
Perfect. And all the answers to those qualifications go to Aaron, I assume, right?
Yes, continue to work with staff on that.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Q.
Okay, moving on to other business. Is there any discussion on any matters that the committee needs to address?
I think just from a staff, we'll give you guys a little bit of an update on the COA vacancies. So we currently have 2 vacancies on the committee. One, Verche resigned and Sandy also resigned. So we are working on getting those vacancies filled. We've got a bit of a backup getting new nominations approved, and as soon as that occurs, we'll be working with the executive committee and chair to place new members into committees. So thank you for being here. I guess we're avoiding our minimum 3 right now, which is great. So we hope you guys are on board for July. And in the meantime, we'll be hopeful to get some new members set for the August meeting. And July, I mean, as you might be able to tell, since we had 2 deferred cases, July will be our heaviest meeting this year. I think we're going to see 8 cases. So just 8. It'll be a long meeting in July. So
And,
enjoy tonight.
Who will be chairing that meeting?
That is, I guess, something that we need to discuss. We'll send an email afterwards, see who wants to volunteer for that.
Say again how many you're...
We will have 8. Now, at least
8.
1 or 2 are returning cases that needed more time to address all the comments from the committee.
Okay.
But yes, it will be. And believe it or not, that was actually a typical
Yeah.
load. I think we've fallen off a little bit. So
For some reason, I had it in my head, it said 88. I was
Oh,
going,
goodness.
that-
We'd be
that-
here for
No.
I was
days.
going to say
No.
that's not going to happen. Yeah.
We've also talked about, and we didn't come prepared with anything, but to remind you when you are creating conditions that aren't suggested by staff, just to be precise in your language. If you look through the minutes from this past meeting, there were several where you said the word echo in describing the condition, but I think our staff's opinion was that you meant match, which echo could be, translated something very different. It could resemble something, but match is a little bit more exact. So just, keep that in the back of your mind as you're thinking about adding new conditions and making sure that they're precise and get to what exactly you want.
And that comes from our attorney's advice to take verbatim what your condition is stated and put it in the record. So just make sure it is exactly what you would like in terms of enforceability.
I do have one question relative to the project for COA 39 Oberlin Road. We have yet to assign any commissioner to work with them to see about working with them to not tear that place down.
Right. That was, I think, Sandy originally volunteered.
That's correct.
So, yes, someone will need to, if anyone wants to volunteer for that, more than welcome to. We can also include that in the email that we send out about chairing for next month.
Isn't there 365 day delay almost up anyway?
It's probably
before-
fairly close.
It's probably
At this
close.
point,
The one for Oberlin?
yeah. That came
It
before
may
the
have
commission
been
like a year
last
ago.
fall.
Yeah.
I can check while we're sitting here.
I mean, I'm not saying we shouldn't do it, but it seems kind of pointless at this point. But
And that it could potentially be something, that they are submitting a new app or have submitted a new application. You could wrap that condition into the new one, but at that point, if potentially the deadline or, the delay has already passed.
Gotcha. Can you also check on 515 Washington? Because I've been, for various reasons, not been able to get a hold of them. Not that on their fault, it's mine.
what are you interested in, John? I know how to get in contact with her. I mean,
Oh, it's my fault that I have not been able to get in contact with them, not theirs.
what are you interested in?
Just trying to get them to save the place without tearing it down.
Good luck with that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She's dead set.
No. Lovely.
We can't talk about it. Can we talk about it?
I guess we're past the appeals period,
Yeah, we are.
technically, so you can. So,
You know that really well.
Yeah.
Shoot.
A friend of mine is friends with her.
Oh.
And we're going to try and go in there and save some stuff.
Okay. Is it worth me working with them? Is it worth me contacting them to work with them?
I'm not going to say no.
Okay. I'll do it just anyway, just to,
Yeah. Just be a nosy neighbor.
yeah.
And
Well,
identifying additional salvage opportunities is absolutely within the realm of, alternatives to demolition.
Gotcha. Okay. I will get a hold of them.
She still doesn't understand why this house is significant at all.
Really?
She can't get it through her head.
the demolition delay period for 1011 Oberlin Road will be up on Friday, September 23rd, 2022.
Yeah, I
And
knew it had a little more time.
And when is the Washington Street
Yeah,
house?
when was Washington?
That's going to take more typing. Hold
Oh,
on.
sorry.
That's the number.
515
I
Washington.
want to say that was a December or November application.
Okay, let me check.
I know 515 was well before Oberlin.
Do you remember the case number?
No.
I do. Hang on a second.
Search Washington. I won't do that.
515 Washington.
Oh no.
No, I don't have the case number.
111. Oh, that's also September.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes. It was.
Okay.
They were heard at the same meeting.
Gotcha. Okay. Oh, that's right. I remember that now because I took on one and then that's why I couldn't take on the second. Gotcha. All right. I'll contact her. Katrina Godwin. Okay.
Anything else from the committee members or staff? All right, this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you
Thank you.
for all who attended.